Welcome back to Bike Walk Connecticut. I am your host, Steve Mitchell, and I'm here today with Ray Bechard, who is going to talk a little bit about some upcoming events that we have with Bike Walk Connecticut to promote bicycling and walking here in the great state of Connecticut. But thank you for coming on board, Ray, and you're going to be helping with two events, and your background is very diverse, to say the least. But you lived on the bike trail. You lived on the Greenway. What was your experience of living right here in Simsbury on the Greenway?
You know, when I started, Steve, when I started living on the Greenway in Simsbury, I didn't think much of it. I would look out the kitchen window and see people going by and I went, well, that's kind of nice. But then on those beautiful first April or May days when I was writing in my home office or doing the other human rights work that I do, I just needed a break. And I just hop on the bike, get on the trail. And before I knew it, I was either in New Haven or in Westfield, Massachusetts. And my head was clear. I felt better physically. I got back to my office and ready for it. It's an amazing addition to have.
It's a lifestyle. It becomes, and I think living in Simsbury, there's so many people that take it for granted.
Yeah, me too.
And you take it, and I've talked to so many people that have moved out of the area, and they go, we miss our bike trails. And it just, you don't even realize it. I think, sometimes you get used to it.
Where I am now, I have to put the bike in the car and go, which I do really every day.
Right.
But to be able to just, it's, people who live on the beach or people who live on a lake, and I know, would brag, I live on the bike trail.
Yep.
And really can get almost anywhere immediately. I can go to Yale, I can go up to Massachusetts. It was just, and then the trails that it's connected to and will be connected to in the future. I think that's why one of the things we're going to showcase in the events we have coming up in the autumn, both the Discover Connecticut Tour ride on September 17th, beginning from the Bloomfield Recreational Center.
Yep.
And you can find out everything you need to know with that, of course, on the QR code that's on the screen.
Yep.
And then our annual dinner for Bike Walk Connecticut on November 2nd.
November 2nd. So
and
save those dates.
September
17th
and November 2nd. And it's all there by looking at the QR code or bikewalkct.org.
So what is your role in terms of putting these events together?
Well, I've noticed, and I know you've noticed, and all the statistics are telling us that after COVID, events that gather people together have not just doubled in size or tripled in size, they've more than quadrupled in size. So as we're bringing people back together again, especially for the tour on September 17th, we know it's going to be the premier event for bicycling and for pedestrians and walking and awareness in Connecticut this year.
Right.
We know there's going to be a crowd, so we knew we'd need more organization to make it an extraordinary family event for everyone. So that's my role, is to bring it all together.
And the one reason why we wanted you to help us is because Bike Walk Connecticut is, largely a volunteer organization for the most part. And, we want your expertise in putting people together and bringing community together. The Discover Connecticut Tour in every town that it is going to go through will, because we do it different towns, different years. Bloomfield is our emphasis this year because we're really hoping that and counting on Bloomfield becoming a bicycle-friendly community. As I mentioned on a previous show, that's one of our emphasis with Bike Walk Connecticut is that all the towns, particularly those who have greenways in them along the East Coast Greenway or not, just having bike-friendly communities, making bicycles and pedestrian safer for everyone here in Connecticut. But November 17th, there's three different distances. There's September 17th. Nope. There's three different distances. The start of the 50-mile route is 8 o'clock in the morning. At 9:30 in the morning is the 25-mile course. At 10:30 a.m. is the shorter 10-mile route. And there's also a walk, 1
mile walk. Exactly.
And that kicks off, I believe, around 10:30 also. We want everybody back at the Bloomfield Park and Rec area from 12 to 2 to enjoy some food and music and just fun.
But exactly, it's an extraordinary family event, as I mentioned. And the Bloomfield Recreational Center, if people aren't familiar with that facility, it is the beauty of other towns. It's absolutely exquisite. And you mentioned, of course, this is an incredible way for a community to get involved in becoming a bicycle-friendly community. You know, we talked about my experience in Simsbury living on that trail. That trail covers, you probably know better than I, and how many different towns in Connecticut, 169 towns, have a trail through it.
Right.
And it's an extraordinary amount. Becoming a bicycle-friendly community has so many advantages, not only to the people or being on bicycles, pedestrians in those towns, but the property value and the businesses.
Yeah,
they all benefit.
One of the biggest, one of the funniest moments was in the CROG study that's going on now in Simsbury. A few months ago, this one woman who, coming from the fear of the unknown, at Governor's Bridge, she was saying, her property value is going to go to zero and so on and so forth. The fear of these awful people coming through that are greenways people, just like hoodlums. And it's just the opposite is true. And a couple people after, I think her name is Sherry Landerman, who is also in the real estate business, got up and said, I've had 4 clients this week looking at houses. She's real estate. And Farmington, Avon, and I think 2 of the clients were in Simsbury. In each one of those 4 people, she said, we're wanting to know where's the bike trail, where's the greenway. So it's something that really the communities value, people in the communities value, and it's just hopefully going to be safer soon. And whether it's Bloomfield, Newington, Manchester, right now there's 11 communities in Connecticut that are bicycle-friendly communities and 20 businesses and 2 universities. There's 3 separate qualifications. Yeah. And as I said in the previous show, Connecticut is ranked number 20 in the country. We're next to number 1. Massachusetts, right. You're correct. And so we need everyone to come out and support Bike Walk Connecticut. And then on November 2nd, tell us a little bit about that event.
The annual dinner, which is at Hooker Live, the brewery in Hartford, will be extraordinary. Bill Nesper, the executive director of American League of Bicyclists, will be the keynote speaker. We're going to have a display of antique bicycles. We'll have a silent auction, but it'll be just a wonderful way for people to celebrate what's been done and what we're doing in the future with Bike Walk Connecticut and all these communities. And I think you're right. The perspective on these trails has been changing for a while, not too long, but it's beginning to build a critical mass where people realize it's a real advantage. Good thing. A very, very good thing for property values, for businesses, for families. And it's a good thing. And your work, it's been extraordinary, what you've been doing for the past how many years? Probably 2 decades, more than
a couple decades.
To promote these trails in Connecticut we owe you a lot, truly, in getting this to happen.
So, particularly to your point in the advantages of the greenways and bike-friendly communities is I've been in discussion quite a bit in the past this year actually with a gentleman by the name of Anthony, and his parents had a sense of humor, and he's a great guy.
Live with it.
But he was most recently the communications director for Governor Lamont. Mm-hmm. And he now is, I forget his exact title, but he's running the executive director or whatever it is to the state of Connecticut for tourism. So he's head of tourism, communication director for tourism for the state of Connecticut. And what an amazing thing this is going to be, having the East Coast Greenway. As you said, it goes through many communities. It's 200 miles in Connecticut. Just in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. That's going to be 180 some odd miles, 188 miles, I think, from Greenwich to New Haven, from New Haven to Simsbury, over to Bloomfield, and then out east
to Providence.
To Providence, right. So there's some great trails that are already here. From New Haven to Simsbury is 95% complete. Simsbury to Hartford, as we talked about on a previous show, needs to get completed, and CROG is in the middle of doing that right now. the most amazing thing is it brings our communities together.
It does. And that's what very quickly.
Yep.
The Appalachian Trail developed, back in the Depression and put some people to work creating this trail that goes from Maine down to Georgia. And it was specifically designed to remove people away from urban areas.
I want to get away from everything.
Exactly, because at that point cities were booming and they needed to bring people out. They said, let's make this trail to get people back to nature. And it does. I mean, you've hiked the Appalachian Trail. You rarely see any signs of civilization. The East Coast Greenway is exactly the opposite of that.
Correct.
Because it's built on many railway lines. It's intentionally connects communities, cities, towns.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it goes through the center of New Haven. It goes through the center of Baltimore,
Right.
center of Washington, D.C.
Center of Hartford.
Center of Hartford, it will. Yeah. So there's, the East Coast Greenway is 35% complete today.
Yeah.
2023, it's 35% complete. So it's going to take a while. It's up to the next generation probably to finish it or some.
Maybe two more. But the connection it gives us between people, communities, is just unequaled, I think, in projects that anyone's done in America before.
Well, I mean, you can go down to New Haven. You can see, or anywhere, if you've ridden the trail from New Haven to Simsbury, it's people walking their dogs, bicycling, having fun, active transportation, and it's totally safe.
It's completely safe.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
But
Thank you for your work. You've done it.
No. It's awesome, and it's all coming together. I'm so happy to be part of Bike Walk Connecticut, making this all happen. Connecticut shouldn't be 20th in the country. We should definitely be in the top 10, next to Massachusetts, number 1, as you said.
Well, to that point, we were recently listed as the number 1 state in America for hiking. Really? And it shocked a lot of people. And the reason they designated Connecticut as being number 1, you think Colorado, California, Alaska, is because there's so many great trails within 10 minutes of the entire population.
Right.
It's so easy to get to great trails.
Yeah.
And that's what all the bike connections have done. It's extraordinary.
Right. And the one thing that I think that's important to mention, although these towns are going for something called bike-friendly community, it does have a spillover effect.
Oh, huge.
The League of American Bicyclists is all about making bicycling safer in America. But the spillover, it does go to pedestrians and,
oh my God.
and so on and so forth. So everyone benefits. But thank you for coming by, Ray, and we hope to see you September 17th and November 2nd. So until next time, go on the website, sign up, and we'll see you there. Thank you.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.